So Spirit has been working on me, working through some things throughout my childhood and understanding from a child's point of view, but also from an adult point of view. And even making it clear, like how certain things has shaped the way I see things and also has created cycles within my personality and my emotions that are triggered or excited by certain things. So I've had people contact me, and I always have been a person who has worked well with children, because I acknowledge that kids have emotions. So when we become adults, okay, so we're children, and we come into the knowledge that what our parents say and what they do are two different things, and that they want us to do what they feel like is the most perfect thing, yet they're still functioning within some of their imperfect traits. And then you become a teenager and you're angry about it long before then, but you're daring enough to at least say, this is some BS, because I don't know what this is, okay, and neither do you. So you become an adult, and then there's some people who actually rebel in their, teenage years, their early adult years. They just get into this mindset of F it, because they've been in that mindset for a while. Many times parents think that kids get to the F it mindset when they're like 13, 14 years old. They get there long before that. They just don't display it as often, because they learn what is safe to express and what is not safe to express. So it's about the time when they realize that the world is not full of butterflies and rainbows, and that parents will, especially if there's some type of shift of dynamics, like your original parents are together and then they get together with somebody else, like we don't prepare our children for the transition. And so when I was raising my children, everyone would consider it to be the hard road that I chose, because I knew that my kids were going to be my priority. I felt like they needed a peaceful existence, as much of a peaceful existence as I could offer. So I created a space where they could be in the home and have peace, because peace was important to me. So it was important to me to provide it for them. And I understood that being in a relationship, especially I had tried dating people, I would never let anybody come to my house, because that was my kids' space. But I would, when I dated men, I required that they had their own, space, their own car. I would go and either visit them or meet them somewhere. And I realized that a lot of people had not really been educated on, when you date a woman or when you are wanting to be serious with a woman, that she's a package deal when she has children. And so I just didn't have a lot of people at my house, unless it was kids. And then I was even selective about the kids, about the kids that came to my house, because I had rules in my house and I needed those kids to respect my rules. I also needed their parents to understand that when they came to my house, they had to listen to me, because I was not doing no hard-headed kids. Now, here's the crazy thing. I only ever had to take one kid home one time. He did come back to my house a week later and was fine. He got his stuff together. But it was because I came from the most purest, realest place. Like, this is what keeps you safe. I was having conversations with them that were not being had with them at home. So I'm saying all of that to say, when kids start realizing that the way you told them things were is not really how they are, and that you're exercising in this thing, and they learned it early. 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. They learn it early. They just don't speak about it, because at some point they may say something about it, And then they may get chastised. They may be called grown. You may silence them. It's initially parents. Parents silence children. Okay? Because we've been silenced. And even if you haven't been silenced, you believe that obedience is loyalty. Obedience is respect. But obedience is not respect. I can obey what you say and not respect you. I can do what you tell me and be in complete resistance. Especially as a fire sign baby, bro. My eyes could say I don't want to do this shit, but my body will go through the motions of doing it as a kid because I knew I didn't want to have to. There's certain fights that I didn't want to have. I didn't feel like getting punished. I didn't want to be restricted. So if kids know ahead of time that they have to navigate a certain way and parents silence their children, then asking them to express themselves is something they're out of practice of, and then you critique them on how they express themselves. The only way that they know how to express themselves as an individual, as their unique selves, is if they practice it. Otherwise, they're going to practice what they see you doing that may not feel like it's original to them. So it'll feel weird, so they won't want to practice it, which is another way of silencing. Okay? So if your child is not used to expressing their emotions when they're sad, you don't express your emotions when you're sad, you act like everything's always happy. How do they know how to express sadness or know the difference between sadness and anguish? How do they know when they're angry about something or if they're disappointed? How do they know? How is that practiced? Can they express that? Because in a lot of homes, people don't feel like, because children are dependents, they don't feel like children have a right to feel certain emotions other than joy and happiness. Like, they expect that their children are going to display an appreciation through their emotions for what they do. So the fact that I go to work every day, if you ain't had kids, you have to go to work. Or you would have to cater to somebody to take care of you. So you still would because I take care of everything in the house, or because I pay bills, or because I am your sole provider, you don't have the right to express certain. You can't be mad at me. You can't not like what I say. What is that? That is a horrible generational practice, because it creates an angry child that becomes an angry teenager that will not give no fucks. Okay? I've lived that life. I was an angry teenager. And I couldn't explain why I was angry, because my emotions were not validated early enough for me to be in practice of expressing why this was so important. Now, does that mean that my parents were bad parents? No, it means that my parents were uneducated when it came to me. They knew what they believed they knew about me, which was what they believed was a pattern of how I functioned. But if you never truly understand, this is like math. If you don't understand the foundation of math, all the work that you do in the higher maths can possibly be wrong. Because your math is not going to be mathing if your foundation, your foundational understanding is not something that can support higher math. So your equations will suffer. Your connections will suffer. Your results will suffer. So if you don't understand how your kids express their emotions early, then you welcome the chaos that comes once they get older, especially learning to express their emotions.